Welcome, Neo. You are most welcome. Welcome in, everybody. Now, tonight we have something special going on. I'm going to wait just a little bit for the crowd to come in. Oh, there's Max. Welcome in, Max. Oh, good. I'm glad that people are getting the notifications now. Good. I'm glad. Thank you, Neo. Yeah, this vertical live is still new, so there's that's going to be a little bit before they get it all together. But we're having a good time. We've had a lot of good success here. We've had some good sessions lately. We've had a lot of good people coming in. So on today's on the agenda for today, I've got it right here in front of me. It's basically Max has helped with kind of expanding the 5-step Bentov meditation. And I wanted to have a discussion on that a little bit today. So we still got step 1 as the posture, but really what needs to be said, and like I said, this is going to be a more of an advanced approach to this, is really talking about the Kundalini. And I might be saying these words incorrect because I just read a lot of them from books. I don't hear them actually said in the native tongue. So I don't know if I'm saying a lot of the words, especially some of the Indian words that I'm going to say tonight. I'm not sure if I am saying them correctly. I will try to practice them. I will go try to listen to them and practice the language because I think it is important. So basically, for those that aren't familiar with the Kundalini, it's the double helix. When we're sitting in our posture, it's important. This going up the spine, it connects the pelvis to like the crown or the of the skull or the base of the skull. And feel free, Max, correct me as I go because I've only had a chance to really go through this a couple times. And why this is important is because much like a lot of the other meditations that people use, like chi, aether, I've heard there's some of these mentions of energy, and it's kind of really the same thing. And even Bentov, Itzhak Bentov, he referenced Kundalini, in much like the where that energy flow is. It's the connection, really the energy pipeline in your back that really, the coherence. One thing that I do want to mention, and I'm glad that you had put in this in, and as far as in the step 1, is that a lot of these old practices are from some of the breathing techniques are from old Himalayan, old Indian ancestral books and practices from hundreds and thousands of years ago, and we still use them today. In fact, Joe Dispenza uses it in his work. There's many of the leading scientists nowadays are using a lot of the breathing techniques, a lot of the structure, just because they did have it down. They knew what they were doing a long time ago when it came to controlling the body and the mind. They had a lot of time with this and had a lot of success with that. So even to this day, there's a lot of secrets in just the posture, step 1. 2, we're going to start getting into breathing. That's really where we start. We breathe, we focus on the breathing, the inhale and the exhale. We focus actually on that breath. And as it starts to slow down and we start getting that coherence, we start really feeling an insight. And like I said, Max, feel free to add anything in here. Like I said, I haven't had that much time with the material, and I want to keep it natural and organic and just tell you my thoughts on it as I'm doing it. So like I said, as we get that breathing down, and it's really focusing on the breathing. It's a controlled breathing. It's you're supposed to be kind of focusing on that. There is later, there was also kind of some mantras that they used. So it was a combination of visualizing the power of up and down the spine, and listening to your breath and listening to your body. There was a lot of that that helped awaken some of this higher enlightenment. Is really was, I believe, a lot of the goal behind the meditation, and really get that coherence together. Um, so I just want to touch on this just a little bit because I saw that you wrote it in there. Welcome in. Thank you guys for showing up. You had mentioned in here, as we start slowing down the heart rate, and I do want to mention 7 hertz at this point because a lot of people have heard it, they use it, maybe you've read it in Ben Taub's work. And it's just it's a good way, it's a good reference point. It's as we start slowing down our heart, from, the heartbeat's going to start slowing down and kind of sync up a little bit with the brain, heart, and the earth. I do believe in a synchronization there, or a very similar vibe, because we are very similar on that level there. So I wanted to make sure to cover the 7 hertz, and as we get in there, we become in that theta stage as far as the 7 hertz, and become the antenna. I liked how you put that one in there. That's a great way. Um, so in here on step 4, we got the brain hemispheres, or hemisync, however you want to put that. Um, there's a few ways how this kind of gets achieved. A lot of it's just through that pure meditation. Joe Dispenza has his own way. Um, Bob Monroe had his. Tom Campbell used imagination. So there's a lot of people that once you get into this nice meditation and you start going for the 4th step, which is called hemisync, that's just what I call it. That's really what happens next. In here, there is a gland that you have in here, and as you start relaxing, that gland kind of starts, there's a process, there's a phenomenon that happens in the head where you do start relaxing, and you do go into kind of a more enlightened state when you start going into hemisync. And it's much like, a lot of people reference it, it's like when you go to read a book and then you're suddenly inside the book and you're no longer here. That's a lot of people talk about out of body experiences, EOBs, that kind of stuff. When they experience this, some people just experience pure light, some people just become one with the universe. I've heard a lot of different descriptions, but this is the advanced meditation technique that we're trying to get down pat. So step 4, I'm going to say eyes closed, deep breathing. That deep breathing, that focusedness, it does kind of, like I said, and I've got it's a pineal gland in there. It's something that happens, it awakens. And a lot of people say, and it references this to having your third eye open, which is basically when your hemispheres kind of sync up to create one stable sight where they both are together. It's not just your logical side looking at something, or it's really a third eye that opens up when you get into the state, and you can see beyond what you can normally see, is what a lot of people are experiencing with this meditation specifically. And this is just leads into step 5, which is what Itzhak Bentov would refer to as the holographic expansion or holographic state. And that's just once you get into that higher level and you open up, and you're just going to be kind of sitting. I like this, Max, about sitting in a void, and you are reflecting on yourself because you are the universe. And there is an awakening when the veil comes off, and what you see and what you experience. So that's like I said, that's more of the advanced 5 step. There, obviously, we're going to expand on this more, but and share our experiences. But I want to dial down the meditation first. It's one thing I really liked about Itzhak Bentov is that he was the plumber. He got his science down. We got a lot of good stuff about the meditation. When he mentioned Kundalini and was referencing, it was very similar. If then I know, a lot of people already knew a lot about that there was a lot of good power and health benefits and stuff like that there. A lot of people have been using that for years. But when you see it starting to be used from a lot of different sources, like I said, Joe Dispenza uses it. There's a lot of people that use the breathing techniques or really the frame of reference and the posture and the but that's pretty much it. I gotta practice this a few more. That's why I wanted to come on here and practice this. Is that this is a difficult speech. This is the first time that I've given like the more advanced one. Usually when I come in, I give the beginner speech just about coming in, relaxing and meditating. And then I always say, we'll talk about the Bentov meditation later. And if you want to see it, go watch my video about it. But really, this is about 2 months into this project, and we're finally getting the Bentov meditation more refined to really talk about what he would have talked about or what he would have done, what his book kind of what would have been looking like. And like I said, I do have my book that's already coming out, and the ebook as well. So I have none of those are finished. Welcome in. I appreciate you guys being here today. Like I said, this was a kind of a little bit more rougher. The other thing is I don't speak Indian very well, so a lot of the Purana, the chakras, the pronunciation is very difficult for me. But I want to learn. In fact, I plan on taking a yoga course and getting certified this winter, right after college ends for me here. So I do appreciate you being here, Max, and all the input that you sent me on this. I definitely going to, if anybody has anything else about this, especially EOBs or anybody following any kind of that type of meditation and had some success, we'd love to hear it from the community. Like I said, this is just a big positive. I usually do a positive vibe session here for a long time. I usually do a lot of other things. Tonight, I really wanted to talk about the meditation more, and I want to keep getting enlightened and just keep stepping up my game, and just, like I said, I feel better. And I'd like to get the good information out to everybody. And like I said, the only way we're going to have this, is with the community support and the help. So, no, I am still going to be on here every night at 8 p.m. I've been practicing the meditation because, like I said, this is a little bit different. I'm going to have to look up the breathing techniques specifically because Bentov, as far as I know, there wasn't a very specific breathing. He did mention and reference old Indian works, as far as I know, Himalayan chants or something like that. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into the proper breathing on this one. I think for the basic Bentov meditation that I think most people should do, it shouldn't be a difficult one. I know that you can get some good enlightenment from some deep, good breath work, is what we call it. It's got its own category called breath work, and that's just where you're breathing, you're focusing, you're relaxing, you're. Yes, thank you guys for coming in. If I don't see you or I miss you, Max is here to help, just kind of cover my back and make sure. Like I said, this is a community. I try to come out here and do a positive vibe session or a meditation at least once, if not twice a day. So I do appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you very much. I might even try it one more time here in a little bit. If there's another big wave of people that come in, I might try to just practice it again, because the only way I'm going to get better at doing this meditation or even speaking about it, because like I said, it's a little bit complicated, is by practicing it. Like, I'm good at memorizing a lot of things, but this one is because there's so much important stuff that you don't want to like forget about something. But welcome in. Thank you. Super high vibes, much positivity tonight. Sid, get the mustache ready. I'm going to try to do another I've got to like bullet kind of like make certain memorizations of this meditation. So I'm going to combine this of what I took from it and then a little bit from my old beginners one, because I think it'll be an easier kind of pill for people to swallow, as far as, especially if they haven't started with meditation before, is to start kind of with the easy 5-step Ben Tav one, and then as I'm kind of hitting on those, just talk a little bit more about each one. I'm afraid if I start talking about too much advanced stuff, that I will lose a lot of people when I start talking about it. A lot of people may be interested in meditation, but I don't know if it seems too advanced. Too much advanced Jedi stuff might be too much for the young learners, basically. But so I'm going to try to practice saying this meditation. And that's the other thing, is that I feel, I don't know, I kind of want to do the meditation. But when I do it, I'm going to have to do it and then voice over it later to upload to show people later. But when I do it live, I have to kind of half do it and then half talk. Because when I am in a full meditation and I go into like theta, I can't talk. So I can't exactly do the meditation and talk about the meditation at the same time, is one of the problems. But like I said, I can always record myself later and upload and then voice over or something. So I think when I do come in here to teach the meditation, or at least this is what we've got so far for an Itzhak Ben Tav meditation up to this point. But yeah. Like I said, I would start off. Let me look at this. There's so much good stuff that I don't want to. Chi, Orgone, Aether, Prana. They're all pretty much the same. They're Vedanta. That's like the last part of the area of the that's secret breathing techniques that only certain lineage knew. We'll look into that. Like I said, I want to get a really solid basic one down, but so step one, get comfortable, find a good position, try to align the spine. Like you said, I think that Kundalini, the double helix structure, trying to get that, but you have to be able to sit comfortably for a while. If your leg hurts, or your knees hurting or something, it's going to be really hard, I think, to do the meditation. So it has to be kind of a combination of sitting and, being comfortable at the same time. And, I don't know about a chair. Every time I've heard about a meditation, it's sitting on a yoga mat, a blanket, something like that. I don't see why you couldn't do it from a chair. I'd have to really, I don't know. What do you think? So get comfortable, start your breathing. Right now, I'm still going to say the 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out is a good one to start with. I think that holding your stomach for new beginners is a good place to kind of start, because it reminds you to push in, use your stomach and your diaphragm to do the breathing. The thumb just kind of reminds you of the heartbeat slowing down, and that's the whole idea, is to start just getting things to slow down into that more 7 hertz area, going from higher to lower to more connected resonation, oscillations, vibrations. um, I definitely want to make sure that, because vibrations and oscillations are a big thing you're going to feel. In fact, I had someone comment on one of my videos about that. Didn't think they would see them and feel them as quickly as they did, but yeah, you can feel them. So breathing, going into brain heart coherence, aligning that structure. For the hemi sync, and I'm not sure, there's so many. Let me look at this again. Like I said, I'm going to have to develop the hemi sync a little bit more. I know a lot of people have their own way of getting to hemi sync and kind of awakening that third eye, or opening your mind, or that consciousness. There's a couple people that have different techniques. You know, Itzhak Bentov really just believed in the meditation and believed in the positive energy. I think there was a little bit more, so I'm going to have to go dive in there a little bit. Like I said, I'd love to find old audio books or something. But so step 4, hemi sync. For me, it's just being positive, having that open heart helps just kind of align both my logical and my creative side. They can both get with the idea about being positive and love and just openness. I don't need to imagine anything or listen to anything. In fact, the more noise that I put in me, the less pure it kind of gets. So I do think pure energy, clean energy, I think that is the key. That's what I've got so far. That's all that my research here at Pile Advanced Research has shown. And I'm trying to use the most cutting edge stuff too, to really get down to it and refine it. There's a lot of people that have an idea and then they teach it. But for me in the community here, Max has actually given me so much good information. I want to give you a big shout out again. Um, but yeah, a lot of good reading, a lot of good books. It's just finding where stuff is, and putting it all together in a package that's easy for people to digest here on YouTube, especially on a scrolling thing. It's an easy 5-step meditation to go out and crush it with positivity, with an open heart, and it shows you a little bit about the universe and shows a little bit about yourself. I think it takes discipline. That's one thing that kind of requires a lot of people. They may try it once, twice a week, 2 weeks, a month, and they don't see instant results. And it's not supposed to be about you do this and get that thing. It's more of a way of life. For us Jedi is what we would say. It's more of just living that good positive life, getting in a meditation a day, getting your mind set for the day and going out there and crushing it. That's just incorporated in you. And then over much time, it could be years, but it constantly is doing good things for you by getting good sleep, getting that meditation, healing, staying open. Like I said, finding a good meditation practice that works for you. So I'm hoping that people learn something tonight. I'm hoping that people try something tonight. Like I always said, if I can just get to one person and have them change their mind about maybe trying to get some good sleep, or trying to heal themselves, or get a meditation in, then it's all been worth it, at least for me, because I do see there's a lot of positive power in this. I appreciate you guys all being here tonight. I'm going to grab my tea, and then I might do a little Q&A if anybody has any questions. I'm just trying to spread the good word. Right now, I'm not getting paid a single cent to do this. Neither is Max. We do this out of the kindness of our hearts and the share of love. Do I have any out-of-body experiences with meditation? I do. for me, most of mine come from, it's kind of like reading a book. It's that sometimes when you're like reading a book, it's the best way I can explain it. Suddenly you're not in your body on your couch. You don't feel your couch anymore. You read your book. You're not feeling, you're not listening. In fact, sometimes it's hard to pay attention if you're really into your book. And it's that switch that you go into. But instead of reading, directing your mind into this, you're directing your mind into something else. And it's much of the same concept. And for me, anyways, it's very easy to do, if that helps. Snarf, I see you. Welcome in. I just wanted to answer some questions. And if there's anything I can answer, let me know. The Kundalini, you know what? Joe Dispenza got very lucky by getting those, to get Babaji to tell him about his lineage, his stuff. I think he knew that he was doing it for a good reason, but yeah. The light version. What about the light version? The easy 5-step, and then there's the more advanced one. Yeah. No, they're both, like I said, when they find out that the easy one works, then for me, just like I am now, I'm trying to refine it. Like, okay, I see results. How do I get this to happen more and better and cleaner? And this is how. It is pure peace. Thank you for joining. It is. It's just really about having your heart open and enjoying life and sharing good things and positive thoughts with a lot of good people. It makes me very curious, and I start getting all like archaeological, like I'm Indiana Jones and stuff, and I'm looking through old sand scripts, reading about Kundalini from hundreds of years ago, and I'm looking through old stuff. AI is so good for that now. It's digging and showing me stuff. It's not perfect, but I've gotten so much more information, I think, than I would have before. And you know what? It inspires me. Meditation will take on a whole life of its own, just like a lot of things that you do in life. I think if you're into sports, it'll take over your life a little bit, and it's good when meditation is. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to call it a night. That's about a half hour. Max, you have a great night. Like I said, send me an email. We'll keep refining this, and I want to talk about the book soon and the ebook. I want to get both of those out on the Ben Tov meditation. Jedis unite, for sure. Thank you guys. Much love. I appreciate you guys. Go check out my videos if you get a chance. Hit that like and come back tomorrow evening for another great time. Take it easy, Neo. Thank you again. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you again, Neo. Snarf, I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Much love. You guys have a beautiful night.